UFC 266, Volkanovski versus Ortega. One of the best fight cards in the entire year. The main event was an absolute banger. The co-main event was, Valentina doing her thing as usual. Banger of a fight between Robbie, Lawler, and Nick Diaz. A little sketchy on what happened in the third round. Curtis Blades, Jorginho Rosenstruck wasn't the most entertaining fight, but overall, a decent one right there. Jessica Andrade with the first round knockout. This fight card was amazing. I really, really loved the fight card. We're going to go down to the first fight on the prelims where Omar Morales was piecing Jonathan Pierce up on the feet in the striking for the first round and in the beginning of the second. Then Jonathan got the takedown, getting that rear and naked choke submission. Very, very solid win. But I really want to talk about a 15-second knockout win for Matthew Semelsberger on Martin Sano. Amazing, amazing win. He had a couple of reads, jab to the body, and then he just right hand right down the middle. Knocked him out cold, man. Amazing win from Matthew Semelsberger. We had Nick Maximov out wrestle with that single leg takedown on Cody Brundage. Some really solid striking from both. 29-28 decision from Nick Maximov. I'm assuming we're probably going to see Cody Brundage fight on the Contender Series one more time, because I don't know if that performance warrants another fight in the UFC, so he'll probably have to face one more guy on the Contender Series. Jalen Turner looked amazing out there. His wrestling looked very, very solid, and his striking looked good as well, where he actually hurt Euros Mendy before getting that rear naked choke submission. Tyler Santos dominating Roxanne Modafferi on the ground, with the wrestling, with the grappling, with the striking, with the clinch game. Everything in that fight, Tyler Santos absolutely dominated, so pretty easy win there. Chris Dawkins just doing what we all thought he was going to do, outspeed Shamil, outpower Shamil, and end up knocking out Shamil in the second round. Dan Hooker going out there looking really good with the pressure. We saw the fight with Michael Chandler where he was backing up with the striking. This fight with Nasser Hakparas, he was moving forward, putting on the pressure, landing that left hook, that overhand right, some really, really solid hooks to the body as well, and mixing in the wrestling, which was very, very solid. There were talks after the fight was done that he could potentially fight Beneil Dariush next, and I think that's a good fight to happen next. Beneil's at number 4 on the Tapology rankings, beating Tony Ferguson, Diego Ferreira, Scott Holtzman, Drakkar Klose, Frank Camacho, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises. He's done an amazing, amazing win streak. So a fight with Dan Hooker and Beneil Dariush, now that we know Dan Hooker's wrestling and grappling is also very, very good, that is a very, very intriguing fight. But a very dominant performance, 30-27 on those judges' scorecards for Dana Hooker. And speaking of an amazing fight right here, Merab Dvalishvili and Marlon Moraes. What in the world? What an amazing, amazing fight. Marlon Moraes has nothing to hang his head down for, because that first round, he hurt Merab Dvalishvili. The second round, he hurt Merab Dvalishvili. And he almost knocked out Merab Dvalishvili in that second round. Merab came back after getting knocked down and hit at least like 15 to 20 times in that second round. Came back with a takedown, got the fight to the clinch, took him down and ground and pounded the heck out of Marlon Moraes, and eventually got him down and TKO'd. Merab, the heart shown from Merab Dvalishvili, the chin of Merab Dvalishvili. Crazy, crazy fight. That fight, the first round right there is probably the round of the year. Out of all the fights we've seen in 2021, Merab Dvalishvili, Marlon Moraes was the round of the year. If you want to talk about fight of the year, we got to go to the main event. But before we talk about that main event, we got to talk about this amazing knockout from Jessica Andrade with 6 seconds left. Put it on amazing, amazing pressure on Cynthia Calvillo, coming forward, landing some really big shots as usual, and then TKOing her at the when Cynthia Calvillo's back was in the cage. Amazing knockout from Jessica Andrade. Amazing fight from Merab Dvalishvili. Domination from Dan Hooker on the feet. Domination from Chris Dawkins on the feet. Domination from Tyler Santos everywhere. Domination from Jalen Turner everywhere. Domination in the first and second round for Nick Maximov. Domination from Matt Semelsberger in the first round. All of these fights, everyone that's won these fights, they all have very, very promising futures in the UFC. Jonathan Pierce has very good grappling. Matthew Semelsberger has very good wrestling, and he's got a lot of power in that right hand. Nick Maximov, up-and-coming grappler. Jalen Turner has looked so much better in the fight with Euros Mendy. Tyler Santos, dominated Roxanne Modafferi. I mean, we know Roxanne is able to go out there, and she's known for having some very solid grappling and wrestling. Tyler Santos dominated her down there. I mean, all of these guys right here just did amazing in their fight. Robbie showed so much heart in that fight with Marlon Moraes. Then we go to probably the most boring fight out of all of them. I mean, all of these fights right here were very, very solid fights in my opinion, but then we go on to Curtis Blades. I mean, the striking was a little bit dull at times. They're both kind of sitting there looking at each other, kind of taking pictures. But eventually Curtis uses wrestling, a little bit of ground pound, and won the fight by, I believe, a 29-28 decision. I'm not too sure if Jorginho won any of those rounds. I'm really not too sure, but that was probably the most boring fight. But most likely we're probably going to see Curtis Blades, Stipe next. I'm really not too sure what's going to happen there. Then we got Robbie Lawler and Nick Diaz. Crazy fight. I mean, the pace that Nick Diaz put on in that fight. He threw so many strikes in that first and second round. Like, he threw so many strikes. And then I believe they were very 50-50 on the amount of strikes landed, but Nick Diaz threw so many strikes in that fight. But he did catch him, I believe, with a right hand on Nick Diaz's nose right here. I may have broke the nose, something like that, but something really happened towards Nick Diaz to where he literally just sat down, and I believe Herb Dean was a ref. He told him, "You get back up, get back in the fight," and he just sat there. I kind of take it as Nick Diaz sort of quit at that instance where he did not get up, because the real Nick Diaz of 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, he would have gotten up. He would have gotten up, went forward, started fighting Robbie Lawler even after a broken nose, after his eyes are cut open. But I don't know. That was a weird thing that happened with Nick Diaz, to just sit there and just accept the fact that he got his nose broken or whatever the case may be, and just lose the fight that way. It was very disappointing to see Nick Diaz go out losing like that. But for the first and second round, it was an absolute banger. I'm not too sure. Like, Robbie Lawler's not going to become a champion. Nick Diaz, he's not going to become a champion. So I think for right now, put Robbie Lawler, Nick Diaz, do another fight. Do a trilogy fight, 5-round main event of a UFC fight night. Do that. I mean, even though Nick Diaz, he kind of quit at the end of that, or at the beginning of that third round, I don't care. I want to see the third and final fight to really seal the deal on Robbie Lawler, Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz got to finish the first time. Robbie Lawler got to finish the second round. Let's do a trilogy on that one. Then we got Valentina Shevchenko. Speaking of trilogies, let's do Valentina versus Amanda Nunez. That's what we have to do, man. Valentina Shevchenko versus Amanda Nunez is the fight to make, because Valentina, there's no one in the flyweight division that has any chance of going out there and doing anything close to landing significant strikes on Valentina. She dominated Jessica Andrade, dominated Caitlin Strakegian, dominated Lucky Laura Murphy, beat Jennifer Maia. Joanne Calderwood just lost to Laura Murphy. Cynthia Calvillo just lost to Jessica Andrade. Viviana Araujo just lost to Chukagian right there. Alexa Grasso, yeah, she's going up the rankings, but there's really no one out there. I mean, Alexa Grasso, Tyler Santos are the main front runners. Maybe Miranda Maverick, but do the trilogy. I mean, Amanda Nunez versus Valentina needs to happen. Do the trilogy, main event of a pay-per-view. That's what needs to happen. And speaking of main event of a pay-per-view, man, it lived up to being the main event of a pay-per-view. Alexander Volkanovski and Brian T-City Ortega in a 5-round featherweight main event. Let's give a round of applause. Everyone in the comment section, put some clapping emojis, because that fight was an absolute freaking banger, man. The first round and the second round, I personally think it went to Alexander Volkanovski. And then the third round, man, crazy third round. I mean, Volkanovski was doing very good at the beginning of that third round. Brian caught him with a really good shot, slipped him up a little bit, caught him with that guillotine on top, transitioned to it on bottom to a triangle choke, almost got that. He was so close to landing that guillotine, so close to landing that triangle, but eventually he got on his back, and Volkanovski just started ground pounding the heck out of Ortega, and I'm really not too sure who won that third round. To be quite honest, I have really no idea who won that third round. But the fourth round, Volkanovski definitely won. So obviously he won at least 3 out of the 5 rounds. The third round is a pretty back and forth. You can make an argument for Brian Ortega winning with the close submission attempts, but man, that third round of Volkanovski Ortega was an amazing round. I mean, we were just talking about Merab Dvalishvili, Marlon Moraes. That first round of being being like the round of the night, but Volkanovski Ortega, that third round, it got me really, really hyped up watching that. I mean, it was a crazy, crazy third round. The fourth round went Volkanovski. The fifth round, Ortega went out there looking really, really solid, even with his eyes completely shut, with cuts all around his face. The man has a lot of heart. Volkanovski kept on coming forward, and Brian Ortega kept on coming forward, even though he was badly hurt. He was badly, his cardio wasn't really there in that fifth round because he was taking so many shots from Volkanovski. They just kept going forward. I mean, the heart of Brian Ortega was absolutely on point to push Volkanovski on the back foot in the fifth round after what he's just gone through in the fourth and third. Dude, Ortega has so much heart. So much heart. I mean, I can't even tell you how much heart Ortega has, but that main event right there, again, give some claps in the comment section, because that main event was an absolute banger. The co-main event was a really good one. The Robbie Lawler Nick Diaz was an amazing fight. I mean, Marlon Moraes was amazing. Every single fight on this fight card was an amazing fight card. So, if you guys like this fight card right here, like the video, subscribe to the channel. This fight card was absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what all of these guys do next. Because Alexander Volkanovski most likely is gonna fight Max Holloway for a third time. And I'm hoping it's not necessarily like the first and second fight. We see more of a Brian Ortega Volkanovski fight where it's an absolute banger back and forth. I'm hoping we see Valentina Shevchenko versus Amanda Nunez. I'm hoping we see a trilogy with Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler. Really not too sure what Curtis Blades is going to do. I hope we see Jessica versus the winner of Zhang Wei Li versus Rose Namajunas, Merab Dvalishvili. I don't know who we should fight next. I mean, the man is on an absolute tear in this bantamweight division, beating Casey Kenny, Gustavo Lopez, John Dodson, Cody Stamen, now Marlon Moraes by a ground pound TKO. Right now in the bantamweight division, who do you give him? Who do you give him right now? I really do not know who you're going to give him next. Whoa! They really already did that. Wow. Co-main event UFC interim bantamweight champion. Did they really already officialize this? That is absolutely insane. So I'm guessing we're not going to see Merab versus Corey Sandhagen or anything like that. But who should Merab fight next? I really have no idea. But what a fight card! What a main event! What a co-main event! What a bantamweight fight right there! What a card, man! What a card! Everyone out there, give some props to this card. Oh my god, dude, I'm still thinking about this card. I'm gonna go rewatch the card tomorrow. I'm gonna rewatch every single fight because it was an amazing fight card. But thank you guys for watching. It's currently 1:41 a.m. I don't care. That card was absolutely insane. Thanks for watching this late at 1:42 a.m. But thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Let's go.